So, I'm shooting this video because on my self-help journey, which I think it's more like an awareness journey, because self-help says that you need help, which everyone does, but often it comes up, or it's come up enough that you're supposed to question death. I've done such things as write my own obituary, and it took me a while to reach this point, but I probably reached it almost a year ago, where I realized that the one thing that would bother me if I died today for some tragic reason, but the thing that would bother me the most about that is not being able to raise my kids. And it's 2023, so they're 3 and 4 years old. And I guess I can go into that more. I probably will go into that more later. And from that realization, I thought that starting a podcast would be a great idea, because it would put together my thoughts and feelings and my story so that my kids could learn it if something were to happen to me. I've shot a couple videos, quite a few, 2 intended for podcast use, and creating a podcast can seem overwhelming, and it is time consuming to do a thorough one. So the other day, a friend pointed me in the direction of a podcast called The Resilient Mind, and they had a downloadable journal. And in the opening to this journal, it put nicely together the thoughts that I would like to share with my kids eventually. And I really hope I am able to do that in person, but I wanted to shoot this video, and I'll do a lot of reading from the intro to the journal, but I'll add in my own flair. The Resilient Mind Journal, and then in the front it's, if found, please kindly return to Nikki, and then there's a reward. Dedicated to you, the ones that never give up. You continue to show up, even in the faces of life's ongoing challenges. You are the reason the world is a better place. It's not that it gets easier, you just become stronger. I like the quote. Life is simple, but hard. We tend to try and make it easy and complicated, but it's simple, not complicated, and it's hard, not easy. And there's a page called To the Reader. Welcome to your Resilient Mind Journal, where you will discover the power of your mind and learn to take control of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Your mind is the most potent tool on the planet, capable of creating incredible experiences or turning your life into a living nightmare. Unfortunately, many people struggle to manage their mind, leading to a life filled with fear, shame, and guilt. But you don't have to be one of those people. By learning and applying the tools shared in this workbook, you can start gaining control of your mind, allowing you to feel and act your best. The core principles of developing a resilient mind are critical to keep in mind. Firstly, understand that everything is a process, including happiness and sadness. By recognizing the habits and routines that influence your thoughts and emotions, you can consistently maintain a positive mindset. Secondly, you'll have good days and bad days, but the resilient mind is about handling the tough times with grace and ease. These days are gifts as they help you to build your character and make you stronger. I'm going to insert my own little take on those last two paragraphs because it sounds all bubbly and nice and rainbows and butterflies to maintain a positive mindset and to become stronger. But there was a line before where your mind is the most potent tool and it can be incredible and create incredible experiences, but it also can turn your life into a living nightmare. And I think a lot of people get trapped in negative feelings, and there's definitely a way you can not let your tough times make you stronger, but instead you can face the very dark side of life and you can get sucked into that in small ways or huge ways. Like you can put in such a corner that your life is a living nightmare and you don't get stronger, but instead continue to get weaker and let the dark thoughts control you. So this book is very positive, but I think it comes from the perspective of someone who has already done a lot of work and they're in a good place. I have just recently come out of what I believe it was truly my rock bottom and a living nightmare of not being in my kids' lives, even though I was alive. Even though that's what I was most scared of about death, was not being in their lives. There's a way out, though. And also, you don't have to get to that deep, dark of a place. I believe there's a way to learn from other people's mistakes and not let yourself get to that point. So I just wanted to add that into the book because someone reading this might have already done enough work that they're in a good spot and they're on their way uphill or so, you would say, but there's a lot of dark energy out there that can suck you in. So those were the first two core principles of developing a resilient mind. One is awareness of thoughts and emotions and maintaining a positive mindset. Two is having good days and bad days and using those bad days to build your character and make you stronger. Remember, now I'm quoting the book again, remember, everything is inherently neutral, and it's only our perception, interpretation, or definition that makes us feel a certain way about something. Your mind automatically interprets every event in your life, but by becoming aware of this process, you can take control and bring peace to your life, no matter how challenging the circumstances. Lastly, you will always have a choice in how you interpret an event, an emotion, or an interaction. The resilient mind uses both negative and positive outcomes to your advantage. recognizing that within every situation, no matter how dire, there is always a silver lining. And sometimes it's really hard to see. With this journal, you can develop a resilient mind and learn to use your mind's power to your advantage. Get ready to take control of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and start living your best life. When you're down and out, you don't really like to hear that, so that's why I threw in that sarcasm. Just start living your best life. Do it good. Keep going. But what if I'm going in the wrong direction? So that was from the author Simba Nyazika. And then they have another quote: "We cannot change our circumstances with the same thinking we use to create them." It says it's by Albert Einstein. I think there's another quote that I really like, and it's something about we should simplify things as much as we can, but not simpler. There is a way of being too simple. And when I first saw that quote, it said it was by Einstein or, I don't know, Tesla or some really smart person. But then it was actually someone else's quote from reading them. So don't believe everything you see on the internet. Make it part of your routine. We are what we do every day. Start your day right. Kickstart your morning by waking up at least 30 minutes before you need to check your phone, emails, or get your kids ready. Treat yourself to a warm cup of coffee or tea and sit down with a pen and paper. Complete a daily page from the Empowering Workbook and jot down the one action you can take today to bring yourself closer to your goals. I really do believe in the power of pen and paper, even if it's just getting a negative feeling out. I really enjoy writing in a non-legible way, just scribbling down thoughts so that not even I can read them afterwards, but getting them out on paper. And then this is about simplifying and focusing on one thing a day or close to that. I think breath work, grounding, sunlight, water, cold shower, gym, those are all great. You're not going to do them all at once. I haven't incorporated them all yet on a steady basis, but working on them all. Power up your mind. Throughout your day, feed your mind with inspiring podcasts, audiobooks, or any other form of uplifting information. Whether you're commuting, you're in the bathroom, or on a lunch break, take advantage of these moments to energize your mind. Remember, just as you nourish your body with food, you must also nourish your mind. I've been doing this for 13 years now. I am finally at a point where I feel like it's working. Doing these little affirmations, listening to inspiring podcasts, whatever that may be. I think the biggest thing is taking it in from lots of angles. Learning to trust your gut instinct, listening to what you think you need to listen to. Music counts. Classical music is fantastic for getting in the zone. I like to incorporate it with some of the top things, like one trick that I was reminded of recently is grounding yourself, and I heard of it because I was talking with a friend about anxiety, and I like to start with my ears, do the 5 senses, and if I'm driving, sitting somewhere, just if I happen to think about it, it's a moving meditation where you focus first on your ears, you listen for all the little things around you, take in what you're hearing, and then sights, you take in what's all going on around you visually, smelling, then tasting, and then feeling the shoes on your feet, feeling what's in your hands, and then feeling your gut, feeling your gut instinct, feeling the energy around you, whatever it may be. And it's going to get into energy, this book, so that was an exciting part. Choose your words wisely. Become more conscious of the words you use, for they are merely a reflection of your thoughts. Even when joking, your words carry significant implications for your mental fortitude. Train yourself to avoid anything intentionally self-deprecating, disempowering, or self-critical. Your words can shape your reality, so make them count. Whew! Tell myself some shitty things someday. Some days I am not very good to myself. And I think we all have that issue, but gratitude is the attitude. Practice gratitude daily. Take a moment to appreciate the little things in life, such as making it to work on time, or enjoying a perfectly brewed cup of coffee, sip of water, etc. Practicing gratitude is about training your mind to focus on the positives in your life, even during difficult times. With practice, gratitude becomes a habit that uplifts your spirit and strengthens your mind. I'm better at it, but still working on it. End your day. Gratitude. I actually find now that things are starting to come together, but I do think it's been because I've slowly developed a different attitude towards the negative emotions and towards the negative things that happen in life, and being truly, truly grateful. Sometimes I'm not still, but generally working towards that is, I think, something we're not all Buddhas, so I mean, that would be great, but maybe one day. End your day on a positive note. Limit screen time at least 30 minutes before bedtime to ensure you get a good night's sleep. Reflect on the day, including the good, the bad, and the ugly. Listen to a calming or inspirational audio before bed to help you unwind and set positive intentions for the next day. That's good in the morning too, because I learned this through hypnotherapy. You can put yourself in a state of self-hypnosis if you drop your eyelids a little bit and you look up and have your eyelids flutter, and it actually changes your brain waves. So your brain waves are like that going in and out of sleep. So that's why it's important to listen to especially good words or calming music, meditation in the morning when you wake up and at nighttime before you go to bed, or at least think positive thoughts. Cool little trick I learned was when you wake up in the morning, try telling yourself that I love you, Nikki, in the morning when you wake up, and it actually gives you a really good feeling, because lots of times when we wake up, we're just thinking about shit we gotta do or how we want to be asleep, or we wake up and we're instantly hard on ourselves. So that was a cool trick. I haven't been doing that one lately. I should do that again. Oh, so many things to do. Guide to the Resilient Mind. To ensure that you effectively measure your progress as you work through the valuable material in this workbook, it is essential that we establish a framework. We will be utilizing the groundbreaking research of Dr. David R. Hawkins and his ultimate map of consciousness. Dr. Hawkins' exhaustive research and use of muscle testing over a span of 2 decades enabled him to identify a range of values, attitudes, and emotions that correspond to different levels of consciousness, which he compiled into the map of consciousness. This is something I've known about for two years or so, and I found it fascinating that it came up in this journal. It's a logarithmic scale from 1 to 1,000, and it's a tool to track and measure your progress as you strive to develop a resilient mind and move up the emotional scale. It's what the old saying, what can't measure, you can't change, something like that. But being able to track your emotions is extremely valuable, because then you can put a value to it and actually look at it in a way that you can see improvement or getting shittier. For further insights into Dr. Hawkins' work, we recommend reading his books, The Map of Consciousness Explained and Power versus Force. When I read a book, I just kind of skim through it until I get what I want out of it, but I'm not sure if this is going to be able to be seen here. Can we read it? Is it going to be backwards? Or anyways, it shows at the bottom of the scale, that's shame. It's not like a linear scale with emotions. These bottom emotions up until here, 200, 250, that's neutrality. This is the first sign of positive, is 200. So 0 to 200 are all these negative emotions, and then 200 and upwards to 1,000, same amount of emotions send you higher up the vibrational scale. And this is science. So shame is 20, guilt is 30. Yes, those are the bottom 2 emotions, not anger. Anger is 150, actually. Like, it's way up there. Like, you're at least showing some spirit in the negative emotion. Whereas guilt and shame, that's those, I'm sure everyone's familiar with those. They're pretty popular. And yeah, those are the lowest for reasons we know, because we felt it. Apathy, feeling of hopelessness, is 50. Grief is 75. Fear is 100. Desire, which is your view on life, is actually disappointing. I'll get into further descriptions of these, but desire is a negative emotion at 125. Then anger, 150. Pride, 175. Courage, 200. Neutrality, 250. Willingness, 310. Acceptance, 350. Reason is 400. Love is 500. Joy is 540. Peace is 600. And enlightenment is 700 to 1,000. So it has these definitions in the journal too, and I'm going to read them because I think they're important. Because I think these baselines of emotions, like, people don't know how to control their emotions, or like where their emotions fall on the scale. So you can simplify all of the emotions into these 17, I think there is. So 17 different groups of emotions. So your feelings through a day, you can literally give them a number. So, shame, level 20. Shame refers to the feeling of disappointment or worthlessness when one fails to live up to the expectations that define their core self. This emotion is more than just a feeling, as it is also partially defined by our self-definition, which is dictated by how we see ourselves. Individuals who experience shame may become cruel to both themselves and others. I think shame is something you let other people put on you and put on other people. I've heard guilt described as shame put on yourself. So guilt is level 30. Guilt is closely related to shame, but with important difference. Whereas shame is feeling terrible about who you are, guilt is feeling terrible about what you did. It involves feelings of remorse, recrimination? Tricky. And even masochism. Masochism? Man, I should have looked those up before I read these because I'm not really sure what they meant, but words are tough sometimes. Okay, blame and victimhood are often used to manipulate and punish others. Ooh, the victim state. In the state of guilt, one sees themselves as a sinner and may be unable to forgive themselves for past actions and behaviors. Unconscious guilt can have serious consequences for the body in the form of disease, dis-ease, accidents, and suicidal behavior. Apathy, level 50. Apathy is characterized by indifference, neglect, poverty, low energy, and hopelessness. This state is often observed in homeless people and isolated seniors. Victims of apathy have learned to feel helpless, which makes them needy in many aspects. The lack of resources and energy results in a passive lifestyle. Grief is 75. Grief is a higher level of consciousness than apathy, because by feeling something, one is at least starting to escape the numbness. It is a state of loss and sadness that most people experience for a period of time. However, a prolonged stay in this level of consciousness can lead to depression, mourning, and remorse about the past. Fear is 100. Every person experiences fundamental fears, such as a fear of death, rejection, loss of control, conformity, and more. Fear can often be the basis of many decisions and is used as a tool of oppression and control. Fear not fitting in, I think, is big. I think people's two biggest fears are supposedly death and public humiliation, and the combination of those is a huge fear. That's why public speaking is so high up there, because you are scared of humiliating yourself. At this level of consciousness, individuals see the world as a dangerous and threatening place, and fear can be contagious, leading to paranoia. The media can also play a role in instilling fear by spreading fearful thoughts. Pathologically, fear can manifest as anxiety disorders, phobias, PTSD, social withdrawal, and even substance addiction. And we have desire, which is 125. While desire is a common motivator in humans, it can also be associated with craving, addiction, and the feeling of never having enough. People desire more money, fame, power, prestige, and other things, often to the point where the desire becomes obsessive and insatiable. Desire is not the same as setting and achieving goals. It's more of an obsessive nature. It can cause suffering, leading to frustration, envy, and jealousy. So yeah, I wonder if they have desire also on like, I think desire is just the obsessive side of like courage and willingness. But very often confused, I guess. Then we have anger, 150. Desire can lead to frustration, which can then lead to anger. Anger can be constructive or destructive, as it can lead to social justice movements and the freedom of oppressed groups. However, that was the good side of it. Anger, yeah, these things start having a good, well, everything can have a good side to it, but these start to have obvious good sides. However, people at this level of consciousness often live in resentment and are irritable and oversensitive. Anger can also result in rage, temper tantrums, and hatred, and poisoning a person's life. Pride, 175. At the level of pride, you start to feel good about yourself, but this feeling is deceiving. It comes from an inflated ego perspective, where you see yourself as better than others and look down on them. Dwelling in false self-esteem, you become fragile and can be easily knocked down to the level of shame. Pride is divisive and can create an us versus them mentality, leading to wars and suffering. Courage, level 200. At the level of courage, you have the first taste of true power. You have the capacity to care for your personal and spiritual development and strive to grow and improve. Life becomes exciting and stimulating, and you view challenges as opportunities to overcome difficulties. You feel confident in your ability to handle negative emotions and setbacks in a healthy way. Courage is a gateway to higher levels of consciousness. Like I said, 200 was the make or break point. Got that from reading his book before. Neutrality is level 250. The level of neutrality is higher than that of courage. Here you are relaxed, non-judgmental, and flexible. You are not attached to the outcome and don't get angry or frustrated when things don't go your way. Neutrality leads to greater freedom and a sense of well-being and safety. You experience inner confidence and feel capable of living in this world. I like the difference definition, or the explanation of confidence versus cockiness is confidence allows others to be great, even people you're not fond of. It allows confidence in, or it allows greatness in all other people, and cockiness doesn't allow for greatness in other people. Willingness, level 10? No, 310. I missed a number. Level 310. At the level of willingness, an individual is committed to participating in life and doing their best. This often leads to success in all areas of life, as willingness attracts abundance. Those at this level are not deterred by starting at the bottom and are willing to work hard. Friendliness and sociability increase and self-esteem rises. Yeah, starting from rock bottom. Fun. I find it fascinating how people's rock bottoms are so different. And currently, I believe our society is heading for rock bottom, but all I can do about that is be better myself. So onwards. Acceptance is level 350. At the level of acceptance, an individual takes full responsibility for their life, understanding that they're the source and creator of their experience. Ooh, we're getting woo-woo. Reclaiming their power, they realize that happiness and love are created within themselves and not obtained from external sources. Acceptance is not passive. It is actively participating in life and making changes when necessary. Someone told me that some people don't change, and I disagree. I think even if you don't change, which I think a lot of people are like that, they actually become more of themselves. So they change, just they keep changing in the same way they were changing before and become even more of who they were before. So that is change. Reason, 400. Reason, the level of reason is 400 on the frequency scale. At the level of reason, emotionalism of lower levels is transcended. Ooh, that's exciting. Intelligence and rationalism are characteristics of this level. One fully utilizes their intellectual and reasoning capabilities to make meaningful contributions to the world. I like how it says transcended, like if you hit the level of reason, you don't like have to deal with the lower ones, but I don't think that's what it means, because I think you can go all the way up and down the scale quickly, but I guess level 400 is a big one. One fully utilizes their intellectual and reasoning capabilities to make meaningful contributions to the world. Knowledge and education are highly valued, and rationality, comprehension, understanding, logic, and clear thinking are prioritized. This is the level of science and medicine where individuals like Einstein and Freud reside. Love is 500. Love as a level of consciousness transcends the mere emotion of romantic love. It is a state of being that is unconditional and connected to everything. It is the highest level of happiness and is expressed through compassion, forgiveness, nurturing, and support. In this level, one can understand the core of the problem without the need for reason and intellectualization. I like the description of true love as you can take the other person as part of yourself. Whether that's loving a friend or family or a spouse or whatnot. Joy is level 540. Joy is experienced when love becomes increasingly unconditional. It is not just spontaneous pleasure, but rather a constant state of being that is present in all activities. This level of consciousness is associated with saints, spiritual healers, and advanced spiritual teachers. I would say not all spiritual healers. Some phonies out there. Being in their presence elevates one's level of consciousness and creates a feeling of euphoria. I think I've experienced this. It's pretty awesome. I have. Peace, level 600. This level of consciousness is characterized by complete transcendence. It is also known as illumination, bliss, or God consciousness. Words cannot fully describe the experience of this level of consciousness. Amen, sister. Enlightenment, level 700 plus. Enlightenment is the highest level of consciousness where humanity blends with divinity. It is the level of the greatest avatars in history, such as Buddha, Jesus, and Krishna. Yeah. And here's where I differed from the book a little bit, because it categorized the tools to build your mind into physical, mental, and spiritual. And while I do agree, like, that's mind, body, soul, I think there's actually 4 categories and for our world, because I think finances is just as important as mind, body, and soul, because money fucking matters. Yeah, the 4 I think are physical, financial, family, and faith. And I've been the way I first heard those 4 categories, and this is I first heard them for setting goals, because that was something I had a lot of trouble with, was how to set goals, because you just start thinking about material things you want. But I heard of them as the 4 B's to start with, which body, your goals with your physical body. Second was balance, so family, or your goals with your family and friends, your connections. And third was business, so yeah, your money goals, because it matters. And then the 4th one was belief, which I call faith. But I think these are emotional, spiritual, physical, and financial, and I think all of them have mental incorporated in them. So I think better than mind, body, soul, which is also your classic house quote. Someone you know has live, laugh, love on their wall. And live is your family, and laugh is your soul. And, well, I guess live would be your body, laugh would be your soul, and love would be your family. But with I call them the 4 F's. So family is connection. That's your emotional. Faith is your belief in not just a higher power, but belief in yourself. I actually had a friend say that his idea of God was himself, which, all is one is all, maybe so. Your physical is about your presence, and then your financial is the 4th, and it's about your value, the value you put into the world, and all of those are mental. But I'll get back to the book here. Tools to build your mind. Physical tools are, you know what, I'm gonna paraphrase this. Your body is obviously important. You need to be here and be in good shape. And then mental tools, or I think that's emotional and financial a lot. It's your mindset and transforming the way you perceive yourself and your thoughts. And then spiritual, I'll read this one. Bob Proctor mentions that your emotions are your conscious awareness of the vibration you are emanating. Spiritual tools are designed to help you shift your emotional set point, enabling you to change your attitude towards any situation in life, be it from the standpoint of quantum mechanics or spirituality. I like the idea that science or quantum mechanics and spirituality meet somewhere beyond the point that humans don't understand yet, because we are discovering physics beyond quantum now. There's really smart people studying it, and it's actually pointing towards God. So don't ask me any more about that one. Go do your own research. Physical tools I touched on before, but yeah, sleep, exercise, water, healthy food, reducing substances, obviously, you can learn this anywhere. Mental tools, you become what you think most of the time. Yeah, just becoming aware of your thoughts and feelings and understanding where your emotions are. We've all made mistakes or have had experiences we wish we did not have. You are not alone. Yup. If you feel shame or guilt, reflect on what your original intentions were. Did you mean for that to happen? Next, what can you learn from the experience so you can do better next time? If there's someone you can trust and confide in, talk to them about it. I think Theo Fawn has a little video where he says this best. Is where it's someone, like it says here, if you have someone you can trust and confide in, and when you're alone, it's not that there's no one there, it's that no one's got, or it's not that there's no one there, it's that you're not sure if they truly have your back. We have a public life, very fronted on Instagram, what we say to most people walking around, and then we have a personal life, which we keep semi-hidden. Sometimes it bursts out into the public, usually not to our not what we want usually. And then we have a secret life, and that's one that sometimes we keep hidden from even our closest people. I learned that from a CIA podcast. CIA agent said that was like their goal for CIA agents, is to get into the enemy's personal life and then get into their secret life. Interesting. Shift your self-talk from I am to I feel. For example, from I am a failure to I feel like a failure. It's much easier to change an emotion than to change your identity. So try not to identify with the experience, but do acknowledge the emotion. Write things down, get them on paper, get that mental junk out of your head, gain a broader perspective. Mental transmutation. This is a powerful tool for redefining your thoughts and emotions. The basic idea is that all thoughts and emotions are just signals, like the engine lights on your vehicle. When your check engine light goes on, even though it may be disappointing, it is a good thing because it tells you to go get your car checked. This is the same with our thoughts and emotions, especially the negative ones. If you are feeling bad, be grateful that your internal signals are working. Now you just need to figure out what is going on and take the necessary steps to address the issue. The next step in mental transmutation is to realize that no matter how bad things are going to be okay. Unless you keep fucking up and don't do this shit and things get worse and worse and worse and worse, and they can still be okay, but you have to get to a point. I don't know. I liked rock bottom for a long time. It can be addicting. Whatever is happening right now is a good thing in the sense that it is developing your character. It'll make for a great story or teach you something amazing. If you let it, can turn into a really bad story. Be prepared. Or, I don't know, give your head a shake, or figure out what direction you're going, because sometimes keeping going in the wrong direction is, sometimes when people tell you to keep going, you really have to figure out what you're putting in your Google Maps, because maybe you're not heading to the right place. So maybe you should not keep going. Maybe you should put a different direction in. Maybe you should put a different destination in. Mental transmutation is about dealing with every situation as an opportunity, no matter how dire. This may require some practice. That's an important sentence. Consistently listen to empowering, inspiring information. The strength of your mind depends on the quality of the information you feed it. Feed it junk, you got junk thoughts. Feed it good, healthy, positive information, you get a strong, resilient, and empowered mind. It is not that simple, but it is. This is why you have access to the podcast, a list of the greatest resources and information to help you change the way you think. Yeah, I guess I'll put that link in here. I don't know. I'm just making a video because I don't have time to do a podcast, but this is, I'd like to, this is great that this book just kind of summed it all up, and I can make this video, and maybe it'll help someone someday, or maybe it's just helping me get stuff out of my head. Related to the point above, reduce your social media use. There's more and more evidence to show that it is literally weakening your ability to focus. No kidding. Spend time in nature and get some sunlight. Yep. Go step out in the grass. Ground yourself. It releases red blood cells, which are clumping up while you sleep. Do it in the morning. Engage in activities you find mentally stimulating. Example, yoga, volunteering, learning a new skill, cooking, building something. Yeah, do it. I used to use knitting a lot. Now I like coloring, building puzzles sometimes. Become aware of your self-talk, how you talk to yourself. Most people tend to be very critical and discouraging towards themselves. Identify how you want to start talking to yourself and make it a habit. Remember, your brain doesn't distinguish between something someone is saying to you and what you are saying to yourself. Emotional and spiritual tools. Meditate, the practice of becoming aware of your thoughts. Consistently find time to meditate throughout the day. It does not mean that you have to sit there and think nothing. It means compassionately watch your thoughts. I like to think of them in little puffs of clouds going by. And yeah, it takes practice. I like to meditate while I'm driving and just be really present. I like to think of myself outside of my body and watch myself act sometimes, like if I'm watching a hockey game, or if I'm climbing the stairs, if I'm working. Sometimes I just need to or take a walk. And activity meditation puts you in the zone. Hockey. You have to be present when you play hockey. So, yeah. Sports are good like that. Practice daily gratitude, scheduled, and then throughout the day, try and be grateful for random times. Self-forgiveness. Yep. Practice self-acceptance and self-love. As we transition into adulthood, we often relinquish our childlike curiosity when it comes to learning and embracing mistakes. We develop an expectation of knowing everything and grow apprehensive about making errors. It's essential to rediscover the ability to accept ourselves in the present moment just as we are. While there may be areas for improvement, it's crucial to grant ourselves the space to be okay with all aspects of ourselves. All aspects of ourselves that are, that were, that are going to be. And then this is the basis of the journal. I really do think, sometimes I'm not smart. Oh my gosh. It's an own the day, puts the date. My purpose is, my intention is, I'm grateful for. It comes over here, my top 3 tasks to complete. The physical, mental, and spiritual tools I'm going to use. Today's self-talk phrase. tomorrow I look forward to, and then this is a little mini journal. This is a little mini journal area, but I should like put that into a document and attach it. Hopefully I do that. I'm just making this video because yeah, I had that desire to create a podcast to teach my kids, but I really just need to focus on making money, and while podcasts can do that, it takes a lot of time and effort. It's not a short-term solution. Maybe I'll make a podcast one day, or maybe I won't, but here is an hour of me talking that if something were to happen to me one day, there's a little blurb that my kids could watch. And I'm just gonna focus on being in their life and using this book to keep on slowly improving. If you've watched this all, I love you. And thanks for watching. Being a good listener is something I'm always working on, and it's hard sometimes, but I don't think I had anything else to add. Oh, yeah, maybe my other favorite book. You Can Heal Your Life. And there's a really cool list that I reference often whenever I have any sort of ailment. And for example, bruises. I bruise easily, so it's the little bumps in life, self-punishment. Yeah, I think I should be punished often, and this is what I should say to myself. I love and cherish myself. I am kind and gentle with me. All is well. But there's everything in here, from cancer to car sickness to breathing problems to glands, gas problems, headaches, heartburn. Oh yeah, I used to get heartburn all the time, and now I don't. Fear, clutching fear. That's heartburn. I breathe fear freely and fully. I am safe. I trust the process of life. I must have done some work on that. I know I did. Holding fluids. There's accidents. There's a coma, which I think is a huge part of my life. I was in a coma, and it goes into further detail in life, but I believe I was going in the wrong direction in life. And here it says, fear escaping something or someone. We surround you with safety and love. We create a space for you to heal. You are love. But yeah, there's a whole long list, and I usually just Google it, but anyways, I think an hour's long enough. Maybe I'll make up an original video of my own someday, more original, but that's the gist of it. And yeah, take care. Thanks for watching.